Hey, welcome to the second video in the series on the Shaepoko and X-Carve CNC mills. This one we're going to get the new Carbide 3D Shaepoko T-track table and we're going to install it and take a look at how it changes things up for this Shaepoko. So here's everything included in the box. You get 3 large MDF pieces, 2 small MDF pieces, 4 rails, 2 separate bags of screws, a drill bit, a Phillips head bit, and the little clamping package. That includes 4 clamps, 4 round knobs, and 4 different sizes of bolts, 4 bolts each. So it looks like the T-tracks are not symmetrical from front to back. This hole is closer to this edge as this hole is to this edge. So the front and the T-track, you're going to have the littler gap in the front and the bigger gap in the back. Alright, so there's my first piece. Flush with the edge and flush with the front. Oh. So we're taking the small hole, putting that to the front. This is pressed all the way and there's no gap. I want to attach this first one to make sure it's perfect, and then all of them will come off that. I'll lay out these 2 different size screws. So I'm pretty sure I laid it out according to what they said. And this, if you can't tell, is behind this track. I have no clue how I'm going to get in there and attach this screw. I don't even know that the screw, it'll fit. It's going to be tricky. I don't want to take this rail off. That's a lot of work. But I might have to. Alright, so I'm going to pre-drill the left one, at least 2 of them. I gotta scoot that out of the way. But I feel like this left one is laid down. I'm trying to get this left one perfect, and then all the rest should align from this one. Pre-drill this. And pre-drill this one. Let's attach those 2 for now. Probably go with the center one first. Make sure the bottom is flush. I'm all the while keeping my finger on the side, making sure that's flush as I put this one in. And there's those 2. So here's what it looks like so far. We have the T-track here and this one stuck in with 2 screws. Again, I don't know how I'm going to get under there. It's going to be a booger to get to. I'm not doing the back because I got to move that forward. I'll do the back after that. I'm just going to work my way forward. So now I'm going to pre-drill these while all the while pushing this against the side and just work my way over. In case you didn't know, if you got enough screws, these are all the extras. Everything was installed and I have a ton. So you definitely get enough. Now, they recommend putting the small pieces on either side and then the 3 big pieces. I have seen some guys on Instagram rearrange it where the smaller pieces were in the center. So if they're working on something really small, they could have closer clamps. But the great thing about this system is you can arrange it any way you want. Realistically, you could take out the screws and rearrange it and put brand new screws in. It's a lot of work and it'll take you some time, but find the right way to do it for you and it'll work out really nice. Alright, so here's how the T-track works. So you got your clamps, and I put 3 of them in, and here's the board I want to hold down. So you take one of these bolt sizes, the many different sizes that they provide, you slide that into the track. Then you take one of the clamps, and the indexed side up goes on top of that. One side comes out and one side is flat. So the side that comes out, that's going to be the downside. It'll fit into that groove. So you just attach it to the bolt and tighten it down. And the great thing about this is you can attach these and have these hanging out many different ways. So one way you could have it leaning against the piece and screw the plastic piece all the way down, and that attaches it. On this side, I could have it up like this, all the way against it, attach it, screw it down to where it's tight, and that has a greater clamping distance. I can push it all the way up and tighten this. So that's clamped. I can do it at any angle I want it to. I just want to do an angle like this. So there we go, we have it clamped 4 different ways. The piece is not moving. I can pull on it, trying to pull it out, and it's clamped. One thing you have to remember with using clamps over brad nails or double-sided tape is that when the piece moves, it might move into your clamps. The good thing about these oak clamps is you can make your own with your machine, but be aware of that. You need to give yourself enough distance away from the clamps. A lot of times with clamps like this, I like to start my 0 right in the center, so when it comes out it works around here and it goes right back to center and doesn't hit the clamps. So, and when you're done, all you need to do is loosen up all the pieces and your piece comes right off the board. So here's a shot of the 2 different clamp styles. This one is the Shaepoko clamp, and this one is the X-Carve Inventables clamp. This one is thicker than the Inventables, as you can see. This one seems to be more versatile. Cut out of 45, you can use it either this way or upside down, barely holding the piece. Also, they include a threaded insert in the back. So typically you would have this insert into your threaded board and there'd be your clamp. And you're at an angled area. But sometimes you want it to be flat. They provide these bolts that go in the back and thread through backwards to where it'll give you a flat, even surface against the table. So the clamp will be flat, allowing a stronger, better clamp. Unfortunately, in Shaepoko's version, it doesn't do that. You have one bolt through it the whole way, and if it's sideways, it's sideways. Theoretically, you can drill a hole in the back and add your own thread and match the X-Carve versions. But I'm talking about just out of the box without doing any work, and it seems that the X-Carve has just a slight advantage over the Shaepoko's clamp. A little comparison on the tables. The Inventables table, you have this really nice grid that will show you the evenness of where things are. You also have measurements on both sides to tell you where you're placing it onto the board. It also comes standard with these holes that have machine threads inside. You have to thread each one, and you can clamp your material if you buy the clamps. Now the clamps are an extra charge, which is kind of foolish. They're very simple. You could make your own. You can make your own with this machine, but these holes will hold the clamps down. A lot of people either use clamps or double-sided tape to hold things down. And here's the standard table on the Shaepoko. It's just MDF with absolutely no holes. And really you only have the option of double-sided tape. Coming from the X-Carve straight to the Shaepoko, I immediately thought, how do I hold my things down? Because I was only using the clamps. But double-sided tape has worked well. I've also shot really small brads into the board, and it's held things down really well. So there we have part 2 of my series. I wanted to get this T-track in to show you that it can match the X-Carve screws with clamps. So it does have that ability, but this is an extra add-on. There is a file on the website, a pattern you can run to where it'll drill the screws into the original wasteboard. You can buy the little threaded pieces to insert, and it would match the X-Carve. I really like this T-track system. It's really easy to slide in and out. I don't think it's as versatile as having holes everywhere on the board. One little thing to keep in mind, adding another sheet of MDF does decrease the distance between here and the maximum cutting ability. So keep that in mind. If you're really needing to max it out, I'd probably go with cutting the holes in the board and using the little threaded inserts like the X-Carve does. But this is a really nice way if you don't have to worry about that maximum depth. I have never come close to it. Most of the time you're cutting 3/4 MDF or something shorter, so you don't have that issue. Overall, this installed really easy and really well. For the price, it may not be worth it for some of you. It might be easier to just drill the holes and buy the $10 bag of threaded inserts and you'd be good. Coming from the X-Carve to the Shaepoko, I kind of think that this T-track should be a standard option. I'm really glad it is an option, period, but having threaded inserts as a standard option for the X-Carve kind of gives it a leg up over the Shaepoko. Originally this T-track is $125. Right now at the time of filming they have it on sale for $99. At $99 I think it's pretty good buy. $125, you'd have to decide if it's right for you. I prefer to use clamps over carpet tape. Brad nailing has worked out really well if you have this space on whatever you're making to waste. But if not, clamps work out really well. Really hope this video helped you out deciding if this clamp table is right for you if you have a Shaepoko. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe. And if you have any comments or questions, leave them down in the section below and I'll try to answer them as soon as possible. I don't know what I'm saying. Hey, welcome to the second video in the series. Really? Peter?